Welcome to a very special Honeycomb titled Taking Your Work Global. The final Honeycomb of our series these last 4 weeks. We thought we'd throw it out to the world and really get a little bit of a taster for potentially where you could look to take your work. My name is Andy Beecroft. I'm the marketplace manager for Honeypot. Before we begin, I'd just like to acknowledge traditional lands of the Ghana people on which I'm talking from today, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. The last week of Fringe, you may have already established some connections through the delegate program in Honeypot, or have an idea of where you want to take your work. And this, I guess, will give you a little bit more of an idea of some of the potential jump spots around the world today. So I'm really excited to be able to talk to a selection of speakers. We're going to be joined today by Julian Caddy, the CEO of Brighton Fringe, David Chang, Mr. Vincent Lee from the Yilan International Arts Festival, Kath Matos, the Fringe producer from Wandsworth Art Fringe, Zoe Weldon, associate producer from King's Head Theatre, Nathan Stickley, the head of programming for Harlow Playhouse. We've got Kevin Jameson, head of program at home in Manchester, and Alex Hall, the senior programmer and producer for Assembly Festival. So a great selection of festivals, venues, and events, which should really sort of whet your appetite in terms of thinking about that next stop. So, I think we'll go to Julian first, over to Brighton Fringe to give some more information and some exciting insight into everything that happens in the south of England. Over to you, Julian.
Thanks, Andy. My name's Julian Caddy. I'm the CEO of Brighton Fringe in the UK. We are England's largest annual arts festival and take place throughout the month of May. In Brighton and Hove, which is a city on the south coast of England. We welcome, well, there's a pre-COVID and a post-COVID list of statistics. Pre-COVID, we were at somewhere over 1,000 events in about 180 different venues across the city. COVID put paid to quite a significant number of arts festivals, but we remained, and last year we welcomed some 750 events in, I think, close to 150 venues. So some venues unfortunately left us. New venues have started, but it's been a hard road for arts festivals and for artists and everyone actually. But we're back, and we're starting a brand new project this year, which is setting up our own central venue, which is going to be called Caravanserai, which will consist of repurposed circus and fairground equipment, and rides, and a big top, and a carousel theatre studio, and nothing will be off the shelf. Everything's bespoke. And that's going to be a really exciting new hub for the Fringe this year, and it'll help, we hope, to regenerate what's been quite a battered time for us all. The timings for Brighton Fringe, registrations open in October and run all the way through till February. In fact, we just closed registrations for this year at Brighton Fringe, although you can still apply for 2023. But you missed the first wave of tickets on sale. Things to help you. We have a participant services team who are here to help, and we do all the usual things like put together the website and central marketing and box office and so on for the festival, and also offer a much reduced by comparison to the Honeypot version of that in our Fringe Academy, which are a series of events to help people take part and make the most of their time at Brighton Fringe. What else to say, really? People tend to not run for the whole festival in Brighton. That's just as a difference to, say, Adelaide and Edinburgh. People tend to do 3 between 3 and 7 days at Brighton Fringe, but you can do longer, and some people do split runs as well. Brighton being very near London means that people don't have to necessarily, although we recommend it, get accommodation in Brighton. So if they're from London or staying in London or got friends out and about, it's really easy to get to Brighton. I think that's all for now.
Excellent, thanks, Julian. And so registrations, they open in October for May's Brighton Fringe. Do you also kind of have other sort of programming stops at other festivals and events that you take part in, or is there a potential to contact you outside of the October registration timeline as well?
We're up in Edinburgh every year, and I'll be in Adelaide in a few days' time. So this video might have gone out after I already left, but you will see the smoke from my departure by the time you see this video. But I'll be out looking at things in Adelaide anyway. So there's a chance that if you're watching this, I might have already seen your show.
Excellent. Yes. Do make sure you do catch up with Julian via the delegate finder. His details are on there. And please do contact him with any further questions you might have got for Brighton Fringe. And I guess being in May, it's a really good time if you're coming from Australia to potentially look at starting that sort of festival run and programming sort of timeline that might take you up into Edinburgh in August. So, having a May, June and July and August timeline is really kind of quite a feasible possibility when taking work to the UK.
And we have a lot of Australian work as well. So
yeah, excellent. Yeah. And I guess moving a little further north up to London, we might go over to Zoe Weldon, associate producer with the King's Head Theatre, which I believe is London's oldest pub theatre.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
They program a really wide range and diverse program of theatre there, which really excited to hear a little bit more about, Zoe. So thanks for that.
Yes, so as you just said, the King's Head Theatre is London's oldest pub theatre. It has been going since the 70s and was created by a genius called Dan Crawford. So it's got a really long history of working with up and coming artists, new exciting plays, genres. It's a very cool space. As a theatre, we predominantly program at the moment, so we're a receiving house. We do also produce our own shows in-house, so we sort of do a mixture of both. Our key focus is on telling LGBTQI+ stories, so we're really interested in queer retellings of operas, plays, revivals. We do a lot of drag, comedy, cabaret, and we have a mixture of slots for different levels of producing different types of shows. So we have long-running slots, which are our green slots, which are our like headline slots. We also have purple slots, which are for like 1 week runs, late night shows, and we also have yellow slots, which are one-offs for touring shows. Each slot has a different rental guarantee. So depending on what kind of level you're at in terms of producer, you can apply to different slots. So something that a lot of people talk about is the King's Head Theatre moving from our current pub, which is 110 seats, to a new venue, which is happening at some point at the end of the year. So we're moving from this 110 seat venue to a 250 seat venue round the corner. We basically will be sharing a wall with the pub. This obviously comes with a slightly different type of programming because the venue will be 250 seats. We will be programming shows that have a little bit more of a following, or artists that have a bit more of a following, or producers that have a little bit more experience with producing at a slightly higher level. But because of our history with working with younger artists, or artists who may have done the Edinburgh Fringe circuit and want to transfer to London for the first time, we will be having a cabaret space as well, which will be a smaller space next to the main space. But we'll continue to have varied slots. We run a little bit like a festival anyway, with all of these different slots. We have a 7 p.m. slot and a 9 p.m. slot. So a lot of the time during the week, we'll have at least 4 different shows, different productions in our venue. So that's something to sort of know. If you want to come to the King's Head Theatre, you will be sharing the space with other productions. So it doesn't really work if you've got like a set that plugs into the main space and is a bed and it's like a tree or something. You would have to clear the space to make it playable for the other productions coming after you. In terms of lead time, this does vary depending on your slot as well. If you're doing a full 4-week, 6-week run, we would need to program you around 6 months, at least 6 months in advance. If you're doing a week, we could probably do it within 4 months. And if you're doing a one-off cabaret or tour, we could probably program you within 2 months of your first show. Obviously, the further ahead that you are able to get programmed, the better it is. But we are used to working on quite a short turnaround, which I think is a symptom really of COVID, rather than us wanting to sort of keep our program. I think people are programming a little bit later because people are a little bit less happy to take the risk on producing in general. I think that is mostly everything from me. Is there anything else? Oh yes, if you want to apply to be part of our programming, you can head to our website where we have got a production proposal page, which basically you just plug in the answers to our questions so that we can get a better idea about the type of show that you want to bring to the King's Head Theatre.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Zoe. And I guess because yourself and Sophie aren't able to physically come out to Adelaide this year, I guess in terms of artists that are looking to sort of contact yourself and Sophie with potential, works that might be of interest, what's in terms of what might be useful, in terms of sending information through, what kind of key things are really sort of key to really include in the messaging once they're getting in touch?
I think clarity on how you would market your show in a London venue, being very clear about how you plan to market your show, because it is tough. Like it isn't a breeze to produce something in London. So just, we don't want to program a show that isn't going to do well. So we need to believe in you and your ability to produce. Also, I mean, the usual stuff: good reviews, well-written copy, good artwork. Obviously, you might not have all of that yet when you're applying, but a couple of those elements would be very helpful. And if you are, an Australian production company, just knowing that you have that funding in place before you apply, or knowing where that funding will come from, would be very helpful. Because for us, getting down to a certain point and offering you a slot and then finding out that you don't actually have the money, for us can be quite frustrating. Obviously, you don't always know, but it would be just to be aware that we do get a lot of applications. So it is quite a lot of work for us.
Yeah.
But we want to hear from all of you, ultimately.
Definitely.
Know what's out there.
Yeah. And we definitely encourage all our artists to take a look over Sophie Beringer's profile in HoneyPot. There are sort of links to the King's Head Theatre website and Sophie's email address as well. So if you do think your kind of work fits, please do get in touch with them earlier rather than later, as Zoe said, and start making those communications, and hopefully we can see something come through as a result of that. So thanks for that.
Just say
Zoe.
one thing, just on our website, on our production proposal form, there is a breakdown of all the different types of slots that we offer and the rental guarantee. So if you need any clarity about what I waffled through earlier, there is a detailed breakdown of what a 7 p.m. show for 4 weeks looks like, and what a breakdown for a purple 1 week late night slot looks like. So just in case what I said wasn't super clear.
Oh, it sounds perfect. Color code systems always work for me. So, I think,
So much easier.
that visual color coded perfection sounds like it's a match made in heaven.
Working a dream.
Thanks again, Zoe. So we are going to whiz across to Taiwan now to hear from David Chang and Mr. Vincent Lee from the Yilan International Art Festival. A 1-week festival in Taiwan. This will be Yilan's first time over in Honeypot to take part in the marketplace and experience Fringe. So I'm really excited to hear from yourself and Mr. Lee all about Yilan, if you wouldn't mind giving us a bit more information, please.
Thank you, Andy. So welcome to the halfway in the middle between Australia and the UK. My name is David Chang, and this is Vincent Lee. Vincent Lee is the director of the Yilan International Art Festival. So I would like to invite Mr. Lee just to say a few words first, please.
Hello, hi everyone. Yilan is a small city in Taiwan at the north of Taipei. We have got very friendly people here. And the city is full of culture. And the festival we have been organized 8 years already. Even during the pandemic, we are hosting the event. And all of you are welcome. And I hope we can see each other in Taiwan. I leave everything for David. I think he is much easier, can talk to with everyone. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is David Chang. I'm in the helping Mr. Lee dealing with all the international matters. Yilan International Festival is normally held in October every year when the weather is more cooling, rather than very, very hot during the summer. And it's about a week-long festival. And during this week, all the artists come into Taiwan, and we will stay in the Yilan. Yilan is a place where very close to the sea and with the high mountain, just like the back wall. So it's a very nice and a place with beautiful landscape. And the people here are very friendly. And this week, the whole artists will stay together. We stay in the same hotel, we eat in the same restaurant, and we play in the same theater. And during the day, we go to a lot of the places which we call the outreach. So it's actually quite demanding for the artists. Well, Mr. Lee and I, we will all play this Chinese instrument called hu, since we are like children. So we know each other for quite a long time. And we know sometimes we go for festivals, we go to play, and after the slot, we left. But in Yilan City, is a little bit different. All the artists need to, how can I say, like do their duties during the day. We go to the nursing homes, schools, or even in the shopping mall, or sometimes they have to stay in the shops. Maybe later on I can show you some clips. So it's not just for the local people to experience their art performance, but we also want to give the artists, whoever come to Yilan, to get something, to learn something, or to see something about the life of Taiwan. And in the evening, we will have a performance in one of the theater in Yilan City. And the whole evening is performed among 4 or 6, between 4 or 6 different countries. So we want to give the local people some kind of the taste of this multiculturalism. So in the beginning of the performance, you may have this Japanese drummer playing Taiko drum, boom, 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 very loud. But 10 minutes, 15 minutes for 2 or 3 pieces, then it changed suddenly to the Thai dancing, doing the very gentle. So it's like a very contrast, kind of like a different to the style. So, and in the next show, then you probably have this Irishman coming and singing the Second Drunken Night or whatever, So we want to give this kind of like the impact to the audience as well. And we think maybe 20 minutes of show from each culture can actually get the most attention and attraction to the audience. So this is how we run the show. Since the beginning, we've been held this international festival for 8 years, and we have a very good feedback from the audience as well as the artists. Many artists calling Mr. Lee say, "Can we come back again?" So that's that. We hope that we are doing something right there. And in terms of the artists, we mainly, even though we call ourselves International Arts Festival, but for the moment, we're mainly looking for musicians and dancers. The background, obviously, for all the dancing and the music, there are so many different genres as well. And what we're looking for at the moment is for those local groups or tribes, which they can perform something very local to their culture, very localized, regional culture, if I say so. So we tend to look into more like a folk-based kind of artist to come in to perform. But obviously we open we don't want to limit ourselves just to that. We also have the orchestra coming from USA. They come to play before, or the brass band from other countries. So we don't limit it to that. But for the moment, we mainly for the folk background.
Yes.
And in terms of bringing work over to Taiwan, what are some of the considerations that international artists need to consider? In terms of permits to work, I guess, the logistics of bringing over the work itself.
Mr. Lee has many staff working in the office for this. And normally, if you are coming to Taiwan for like a festival like this to perform, Mr. Lee's staff will apply, they call it a performance permit. But this will all be dealt with by Mr. Lee's office.
And I guess in terms of when you're looking for work, what's the sort of programming time that it takes to consider the work through to programming it through to the presentation? Are you looking for works for 2024, 2025 when you come to Adelaide?
Actually, every year, because the festival is held in October, so we normally will finishing the artist application by the end of June. However, I think you can guess we are just a week-long festival, and for the moment, every year probably we're talking about 20 groups. So it's not actually a huge amount of artists can come to Taiwan to perform during our festival time. So during the year, we actually take application, and also we see artists from time to time. Mr. Lee and I, since the pandemic, we've been to many places. We actually been to the UK, we went to Spain, and also Indonesia, Philippines, and Malaysia. We just go all over the place to meet artists from different places. And if we see, sometimes we even invite them to come to Taiwan to play for us. So the selection of the artists is actually quite relaxed, but we normally want to confirm the program by the end of June.
Yeah, that sounds good. Thanks for sharing all that information with the audience, David and Mr. Lee. I love the ethos of the festival. Art for a better world, and I think it's really important and endearing to be able to not just attend a festival and never really submerge yourself into the culture or the city, or the meet the people. And I think I really love the sort of the background and the reasoning for that sort of participatory involvement in your festival. So
I think one of our main idea is we want to, I know it's like a big dream, but if we everybody do a little bit, then we can all kind of like can break the cultural barrier especially like me, as I lived in Sheffield for 25 years. I consider myself like a fake Yorkshireman, but I haven't got any tattoos, so my friends say I'm not qualified. Sad. I really think this cultural thing, sometimes people think it's the barrier, but actually I think that's how we make this world wonderful. We use chopsticks, you use fork and knife. We eat noodles, or something, well, the other way around. You eat noodles, we eat rice. And that's why we want the artists to come to Taiwan, not just to, well, art is our way to show our love to other people, but we want to use Yilan International Art Festival as the platform. And they really need to eat together, sleep together, and even, play together. Yeah, that's why we say this. So we really want to give some feedback to the artists. Not just to see them perform, but also to make sure they have a good experience and they gain something good and bad from Taiwan. Yes.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much again for sharing that information, that insight into Yilan Arts Festival, International Art Festival. I guess, yeah, please do, get in touch with both David and Mr. Vincent Lee through the Honeypot Delegate Finder. Search them out and send them some correspondence and ideas. We might see you over in Yilan sometime soon. So we're going to move across back to the UK again. We're going to hear from Kath Matos, the Fringe producer for Wandsworth Arts Fringe, and also with World Fringe as well. So over to you, please, Kath.
Hi, everybody. Yes, so as Andy said, I'm the producer of Wandsworth Arts Fringe, and that's in the borough of Wandsworth in London. And we take place in June nowadays. So this year we're 9th to the 25th of June. And we take all types of work. We quite like sort of mash-up work. So, for example, this year we've got like an interpretive tap dancer working with the Beatbox Academy. We've got a Peruvian shadow puppet master working with someone who is skilled in Peking opera. So we quite like those mashups. We love theatre, dance. In the past we've had quite a bit of circus. It depends how much circus we have. We've had a pop-up tent before, but we don't have loads of venues that take circus, but at the same time, if we love circus, so it's a matter of having a conversation with us in the early days. We also are quite keen on pop-up venues. So if you have a pop-up venue, small scale pop-up venue, then obviously we'd love to hear from you as well. So yeah, our programming year starts, so we have something that's called the expression of interest phase, which opens in September. So that is when you just literally write something on one of our forms that says, I'm vaguely interested in taking part. This is vaguely what I want to do. And then that puts you in touch with me and our Lucy, who's our program manager. And then we'll kind of look through those. I'll start communicating with all people who have done expression of interest, and sort of, we have a lot of networking meetings online mainly, where we talk through different aspects. We have some grants that are available, which opens in October. They're up to 2K. to help you develop your work. They are quite specific. They have to hit elements of our cultural strategy, which is things around communities and partnerships, climate emergency, health and well-being, economic development, that. So they will need to hit that, and it does tend to focus on people who work locally, and there will need to be some engagement with local ones with residents. But we can also, it's a festival that's run by the local authority. I'm a freelancer, but the local authority art service also run the festival, so we can help to broker partnerships. So for people who are doing slightly deeper community engagement work, or work that works deeper with the local population, then we can help to broker local partnerships. And that has worked quite well with us in the past, where national or international artists come and they want to try something out, and they'll work with a local partner who has deeper roots in the community. So that's that. So we do surgeries for the grants. Then our registration opens in December and closes. This year it's closing on February the 17th. So this Friday is our registration close for if you want to be included in our publicity materials. We don't produce a brochure anymore, but we do like a highlights flyer. It's just a way to help our audiences navigate. So it hasn't got anything in there, everything in there rather. It has got things in there and everything. So it just helps our audiences to sort of navigate our way through. So if you want to be part of that, be in our printed materials, then you need to, the registration closes this Friday, but we do take late bookings as well. So, you know, and that's just like Julian said, you just have a, like your festival, you have a profile on the website, and that's how you buy sell tickets and stuff. So I think that's sort of our lead time. And then we have other sort of marketing focused sessions where people can come and learn sort of skills around marketing and PR. And we do a special access session as well around trying to make your work as accessible as possible. Because we are local authority, we do sort of highlight artists, as I said, that work more deeply with our communities. So if you do tend to do wraparound activities or even peer learning activities, then they're positively encouraged. So workshops and that kind of thing are really, alongside your show, are really welcomed. And then we're getting to edit together a trailer, so hopefully we'll have that together to be able to show you that.
I guess, you know, being in June, like Brighton being in May, it does offer that people that are considering bringing work over to, you know, the UK and Europe to really consider that sort of potential route and timeline. So yeah, if you do think, you know, you're looking to come over to the UK for the summer festivals, then please do take a look over Kath's profile in Delegate Finder and reach out to her. So thanks so much for sharing that, Kath. We're going to move over to Alex Hall, who's the senior programmer and producer with the Assembly Festival. Takes part in Edinburgh Fringe in August. Maybe just give us a little bit more information, please. Alex, over to you.
Hello, hi everyone. Yes, so we are Assembly Festival, as Andy said, one of the longest, well, I think the longest running since 1981, multi-venue operators, one of the largest as well. We operate with around 23 performance spaces across 5 locations in the Edinburgh city centre. If you've ever been to Edinburgh before, you might recognise us as the red one, dotted around Old Town and New Town. Our capacities range from sort of 60 seats up to 840. So our programme can encompass everything from large scale productions like circusy big, you know, spectacles, all the way down to sort of humble one man or one person shows. And yeah, like if it's a genre that's available in the Fringe Society brochure, we are open to those conversations. So anything from, yeah, circus, comedy, theatre, cabaret, family shows, musicals, some music. Yeah, we're game for anything really. So our locations and hubs are in no particular order, the iconic Assembly Rooms, which is where we started in 1981, over on George Street in the heart of Newtown. And then in Old Town, we have Assembly Hall, which is on the Mound. That's where our largest venue is, the 840-seater. Then we've got Assembly George Square, Assembly Roxy, and Assembly Checkpoint. The George Square Gardens are in particular sort of at the heart of our operation, with a footfall of towards like 1 million people across the month. In the gardens and around are 11 of our 23 performance spaces on a sort of typical year. So all of our sites, though, are within sort of walking distance within the Edinburgh traditional city centre, which is around, between 30 to 40 minutes to get around on foot. So in 2019, which was our sort of biggest season in recent history, we had over 500,000 tickets sold for around 230 shows in the end. And we had a cavalcade of 5-star reviews and a multitude of awards. And, obviously there was a bit of a pause after that, but, we've been back and enjoying doing festivals again since 2021. And we're building back from 2022 now. Which was a brilliant year. It was just so wonderful to see international companies being able to come back to enjoy the festival atmosphere with us, and welcoming everyone back into our venues as we were enjoying, before anyway. Recent sort of big names, I guess, which is what people always like to hear about, include Ian McKellen, Frankie Boyle, Nick Offerman from Parks and Recreation, Russell Howard, Jason Byrne, Rose McGowan, Russell T Davies, Hannah Gadsby did Nanette in Studio 5, which was a humble 87-seater back in 2018, I think that was. We've had Dame Diana Rigg, we've had Nina Conti, we've had Phil Wang, we've even had Peppa Pig. I could go on and spend 8 or so minutes listing names and showing you pictures from the archives, but that would be very dry. But just suffice to say, we've had some wonderful guest stars coming to us over the years, and every year is different. So we're excited to see what crops up this year as well. So a bit about what we do and how we program. Getting to the sort of the nuts and bolts of it. We build, curate, and manage all of the performance spaces within our festival hubs. So we provide front of house staff, a full box office team, and a marketing and press office, as well as technical staff to support you and your team. Our scheduling, typically we schedule up to 10 shows a day in each venue, with shows running from around 10 a.m. until whatever o'clock in the morning daily. So that can be anything between midnight and 5 a.m. The festival day is not, the festival day uses all the hours it can, really, is what I would describe it as. Most of the shows in our program would run for the full duration of the festival. So this year, that's the 2nd to the 28th of August, 2023. But we are increasingly seeing a kind of queries about shorter runs. And we are open to those conversations. Anything from one night up to 2 weeks typically is kind of what I mean when I say short runs. Turnaround times between shows. So if you've got sort of 8 shows in a day in a venue, it depends on the capacity, but typically, the bigger the capacity, the longer the turnaround time. So they can be between 20 minutes to an hour, depending on the demands of the venue and the shows and the capacity. So yes, there's that. In terms of our programming, who we are, what we look for. The program is fully curated, so that means we work closely with visiting companies, many of whom are sort of long-standing collaborators, to ensure that we present a range and quality of work that will appeal to the festival audience. Companies tend to want to work with us because of the care we take with programming and the specification and operation of our venues, many of which are in Edinburgh's most historic and prestigious buildings, such as Main Hall and the Rooms, as already mentioned, and the fact that we do enjoy good relationships with media and international producers and presenters, as well as domestic UK presenters and venues. We tend to program on a rolling basis from around Christmas in the previous year to a festival up until the final Fringe Society print deadline, which tends to fall in April, as it does this year. But that is not to say we're not open to queries happening after that point. So we have put stuff on sale online only over the summer if we have the right kind of space for it. So we're going to open to those conversations. And yeah, any information on your show is welcome if you're looking to apply to Assembly. So be it a recording or a script or even just an idea, all conversations have to start somewhere, and it's always exciting to see where even the tiniest spark of an idea leads. So we are very open to anything. We have had in previous years, last year actually, we had Temping, which is a one audience member at a time show set in an office space, and we ended up building a bespoke venue for that in a shipping container on Bacoo Place. So we are open to those slightly, out literally outside of the box ideas. Yeah. So, I mean, to sort of sum up after my sort of waffly ramble, the Edinburgh Festival Fringe does remain one of the greatest celebrations of art in the world. And we have been part of it as Assembly for a very long time. But we are still so excited and invigorated and energized every year about continuing to bring the best work from around the world to our audiences and our venues, and to our team, because selfishly one of the best bits of our jobs is that we get to watch all of it. So we are very open to inquiries from anyone anytime, so please do get in touch with us whenever you like. I think I'm mentioned in the Honeypot pack, and if you want to check us out, you can visit assemblyfestival.com for more information, and if you want to get in touch with the programming team, we're on programming@assemblyfestival.com. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, thanks so much, Alex. Yeah, as you say, your details are up on the Honeypot delegate finder, and when this goes out, you'll have been in Adelaide at the very start of the Fringe. But we do urge you to kind of, seek out Alex's profile in Delegate Finder, links to her email address, as well as the website as well. And we're really looking forward to having you back over here in Adelaide to, see and experience some of the shows here as part of our program for potential, programming and opportunities that might take part in Assembly in 2024, 2025 onwards.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thanks again, Alex, for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Okay, well, next we're going to move down the road to Manchester to hear from Kevin Jameson, head of programs of Home. Over to you, Kevin.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Kevin Jameson. I'm the head of program at Home in Manchester in the UK. Home is the largest cross-art venue outside of London. We opened in 2015 and we've welcomed over 5 million visitors to our mix of theatre, cinema and visual arts, as well as our coffee bar and restaurant since we opened. We produce, co-produce, we commission and we present theatre on the small and mid-scale. In a normal year, we have around 250 performances on our stages with theatre, comedy, music, cabaret and dance, and much more presented across all our spaces. To save you looking at my face for the next 5 minutes, I have some slides, which I'm going to share now and show you a bit of what Home looks like, and just take you through what we do. So this is Home. And this is the outside. We're in a commercial area where we have lots of office blocks around us, but we have a big square where we do also present outdoor work. This is the interior. We have a really vibrant cafe bar area as you come into the building, where people come all day long for tea, coffee, cake, meet, chat, and obviously see shows or films at night. And this is our restaurant area on our top floor of the building. So just to give you a feel of the space within Home itself, and our box office area as well, which is right in our main foyer. We have 5 cinemas at Home, ranging from 250 seats down to 35 seats. And our film programme showcases the best in contemporary and classic cinema. And we screen work by artists and filmmakers, both established but also emerging and new filmmakers. It's a programme of incredible breadth and diversity, and we have regional, national and international significance with our film programme. We have many directors and filmmakers come to the venue for Q&As around the premieres of their films as well. And we show work in 4K, in digital, but also on 35mm as well. As well as cinema, we also have a main gallery space, as well as 3 other gallery spaces within the building in public areas. Where we can showcase a mix and a range of visual arts work as well. Our international contemporary visual arts programme is dedicated to presenting new commissions by emerging and established artists based regionally, nationally and internationally. Moving into our theatre spaces, we have 2 theatre spaces at home. We have Theatre 1, which you can see here, which is a 450-seat, 3-tier space. And this space is quite amazingly designed. I would say that I work here, but it seems to be both epic and intimate at the same time. Given the sort of last few years of upheaval around the cost of living crisis in the UK, as well as the pandemic, our larger space aims to host productions that aim to restore hope and joy for the general public, by offering moments of escapism, space for reflection, and to boost our well-being. These shows may have a broad appeal and perhaps be more familiar to audiences, allowing us to spend quality time with friends and family, as well as having a good night out. Our Theatre 2 space, which is a 130-seat flexible black box space, is where artists and theatre makers perform work that explores and questions contemporary society. So the work that we stage in that space is innovative, experimental, and varied in its approach and form. But we always try and have the issues of social justice at the heart of what we present in that space. T2 is the stage where we see the world reflected back at us, whether they're stories that are local, regional, national, or international, past, present, or future. The programme in T2 aims to be a space for connection between audience and artists, and a place where we can debate, have a dialogue, and place for ideas and experimentation. Since opening, as Andy sort of mentioned, we have produced and co-produced with a wide range of international partners across both of our spaces, and worked with such artists as Complicité, the National Theatre of Scotland, Javad Alipur, Boy Blue, Hoffe Schechter, Rum and Clay, Knee High, the International Festival in Manchester, and many more. And we've also produced work that's gone on to showcase in Edinburgh, New York, and other international showcases. Some of the work we've done most recently, just to take you briefly through that, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, we did a major revival of that with Davina De Campo, who was a runner-up on the UK's Drag Race show, and that was a major revival which gained huge acclaim in the UK. We've recently hosted and worked regularly with Boy Blue Dance Company, who are based out of the Barbican in London, but where their regional base. They're about to make a brand new show as part of the International Festival in a few years, which is based on The Matrix. And we've also just collaborated with Rash Dash in our Theatre 2 space on their brand new show, Oh Mother. Rash Dash are a physical contemporary company based in the UK, and we regularly collaborate with them as well. And then I just want to kind of touch a bit on sustainability. This is the roof of home, the glamorous side of the building. And if you look carefully, these are our beehives that we have. And we've also made a range of planters around, which are our old theatre lighting. We have our old washer and tumble dryer drums that have also been turned into planters. And sustainability is really something that we're really committed to at home, and we aim to sort of commit to best sustainable practice and policy with everything that we do within the building. We're always working hard to reduce our environmental impact. We continue to monitor and report on all our activities in order to better understand and improve that performance. We work with our visiting companies and artists and produced work to better understand the impact of how we can make amazing theatre work, but also minimise the impact on the planet. We use what's called the Theatre Green Book for all our work. So we, absolutely stick to that, which is the kind of aims to be the best practice for sustainably making work for the stage. And we're committed to reducing our direct carbon emissions by 50% by 2025. And we have a team of staff that are trained to look after our bees, and we make honey from them as well. So finally, just about programming at home, we normally program approximately 9 to 12 months in advance. And we're generally looking for exciting contemporary work for our stages and fit within them kind of confines and parameters that I mentioned earlier for the 2 spaces that we work in. It's great to send as much information as you have on your production, on your show to us, and let us know how you think it fits our program, and also how, what audiences you think fit your work. We love watching videos of things. We know it's not the same as watching things live, but if you're performing quite far away from Manchester, a video is sometimes as good as anything for us to get a feel and a flavour of the work that you do. We have a wide team here that look over all our programme and inquiries. to ensure that we have a wide mix of viewpoints on our season program as possible. And we're always happy to chat, whether that's in person or whether that's digitally, about both the work that we do, the building, and also the work that you're doing to help that as well. So we're more than happy to meet you as well. So I hope that's helped give you a flavour of Home, who we are, what we do, and I'm sure I'll hopefully speak to you soon.
Thanks so much for sharing that, Kevin. It's such a commendable space and a beautiful space as well. And a great kind of jumping point in terms of if you're looking to bring work to the UK and Europe. You know, there's definitely that area of kind of you know, possibility of taking work, you know, through sort of the London venues and the Manchester venues and the Edinburgh venues. Yeah. So Kevin's going to be here from the 6th to the 11th of March. So obviously when this is going out, you'll be able to reach out to Kevin. He'll be in Adelaide when we launch this. So please do reach out. All his details are on Delegate Finder. We'll see him at the events, and yeah, really keen to connect him with all the potential works that might have an interest in taking their work over to the UK and you know, exploring the possibilities at home. Thanks again, Kevin, for sharing that, and we look forward to seeing you through the Adelaide venues this week.
See you there soon.
Next up, we've got Nathan Stickley, Head of Programming, to tell us more about Harlow Playhouse, which is a leading creative hub and venue in Essex in the east of England. So over to you, please, Nathan.
Hi, I'm Nathan Stickley, Head of Programming here at Harlow Playhouse.
We are a mid-scale regional theatre in the beautiful countryside of Essex, 15 minutes outside of London. We are a multi-purpose art space, bringing a wide range of art and culture to our audience. We have two main performance spaces. Theatre 2 is our 120-seat thrust studio theatre, and Theatre 1 is our 400-seat main house. We have multiple rehearsal spaces and frequently host artist residencies, R&D weeks, and often companies will build their national tours from here at Harlow Playhouse. We've got a really diverse programme built on a foundation of commercial shows and an annual pantomime. We also have our Pay What You Can programme, which brings art and culture to those that might not be able to afford it, encouraging people to invest their time and see new work. We support the LGBTQIA+ community, Black artists, we've had resident artists from China, and we're really pleased to be welcoming Australian companies into the programme this year and in 2024. For a full list of what's on and how to engage with us, head to our website or find us on Instagram and Facebook.
I am happy to hear about any and all shows, but specifically I'm looking to develop our circus, cabaret and burlesque offerings. I traditionally programme a year in advance, but we are a small team, so please don't be offended if you don't hear back from me. This year I'm a virtual delegate, but we are working on hopefully getting me there next year. So if you are there at the Fringe next year, it'd be lovely to meet you. I think that's it from me. All of my contact details will be on the next slide, but thank you for watching and have a great festival.
Thank you so much. Well, that is the end of our honeycomb today and the end of our honeycombs for the last 4 weeks. I want to say a big thank you to all of our speakers today. Julian Caddy from Brighton Fringe, Alex Hall from Assembly Festival, Nathan Stickley from Harlow Playhouse, David Chang and Vincent Lee from Milan International Art Festival, Kevin Jameson, Head of Programme from Home Manchester, Zoe Weldon, the King's Head Theatre in London, and Kath Matos, Wandsworth Arts Fringe. We have over 340 delegates in Honeypot alone, so I guess the possibilities for taking your work onwards is really very much at your fingertips at this point. So we do sort of advise that you please do keep looking over Delegate Finder, contact delegates that might be of interest, send questions their way. And yeah, we wish you all the luck in taking your work onwards after Adelaide. If you want to watch back all of our honeycombs over the last few weeks, you can now find them on my Honeypot or the Adelaide Fringe YouTube channel. So once again, thank you to everyone that's taken part over the last few weeks. It's been wonderful to hear from a wide range of festivals, venues, events, and delegates that take part and run them. So please do keep us in mind for Adelaide in 2024, and we'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.